There. Welcome again to our Tuesday Live. We just started a little bit late today because I was finishing a task that I started and I kind of felt a little bit conflicted from being on time here and having my mind that I haven't finished something that I started or complete that, get it all done so I could just fully be here with you. So I chose the latter. I'm happy to be here today, and I want to talk about this loneliness that it's happening in the leadership. You always probably you heard, right? It's lonely to be at the top, or the more you go on the top, the harder it is for you to make the right connections or to trust what's happening or to trust yourself sometimes with so much that you need to bear and hear and have to make decisions for or sometimes you just have to hold on certain things because they're not fully cooked and you cannot just pull them out there. It is hard, yes. Each leader, you're going to find that somehow they get to this point and it affects them in a way that is probably going to be seen transferring that into also their daily and life activities. So I'm going to go over a few things regarding that. First of all, know that yes, this is something very normal, and I wanted to imagine why is this happening. Do you know how when it's snowing and you don't know what it's on underneath, you don't know if it's ice, you can see anything. Just imagine it's everything, it's white, and you just don't know what's underneath. And one person has to have the courage to start to go through the snow so he can just create something easier for those that are following. So whenever you just every step that you make, right, you kind of wonder, I have no idea. This is a new terrain. It's not my house. It's not my town. I have not been in this place. So let's imagine it's somewhere that I have no idea where am I going and what most importantly, what's underneath. So even if you just make a decision and you say, I'm going to go to that direction and I know where I probably am located, and you made all your informed decisions that you could make, you still don't know what's underneath. Military, it's going to the same situation when they're on the battlefield. They have no idea when they make with each step, they have to learn to take care of what are they stepping on. So it is probably the same thing if you kind of relate to that, just so you can understand what is going on as a leader when you're starting new things or you're not doing something that you probably you're a pioneer and you want to do something new. You will always get to this situation. You always feel like you're stepping and almost praying that nothing bad is going to happen. So that's why it's getting lonely, because you need to make a decision and you need to trust yourself first that you could do that. And you're going to have unexpected surprises, but you have to trust that the everything that you've done in the past is going to serve you when you are faced with something new that, yeah, it may be that you have never done it, because our intelligence, it's created, it's connected from our past experiences, but is also connected with everything else that we've seen around us, and everything else that we can tap into the bigger intelligence that exists there, and we get those insights. And the less we're stressing, that's the key. The less we stress, the more we are able to the more we're able to be able to open up to that, tap into that more important wisdom and intelligence that exists around us. So, going back to this example, I will say that yes, it is very important to kind of create as a leader your trusted support. And in working with my clients, that's what I kind of see that is the most important and the most need. It's a need for people to have someone that they can trust to say everything that's going on to their head. And sometimes that's not the board of directors. Sometimes that's the last place where you want to show up, thinking that you're sorting things out. You may not have the right network there. So how do you build this trust? How do you build this trust with your limited period of support that you can have, that you are also now or able after that to tap into others to support and request whenever you need that support? I'm going to just present you with a quick, what I love about the trust is that it is the foundation. It is what we can, without that, I will not be able to operate. And I think there will be more of us who kind of, I hope, will agree with me on this. Any decisions that we're making, anything that it's about our life, to me, at least, it's going to back to how much do I trust either myself or the other person or God to do certain things. So I'm going to say that this is very important. And one quick lesson that I want you to take out of this is when you trust and you're not giving the trust fully to someone, you want to pay attention, and there is a process that you could use to test with certain things that are not extremely important at that moment, and build this network of peers that you can trust ahead of time. Don't wait until the last moment when you really need it, because it's going to be very hard. You're going to feel super vulnerable at that moment, and you may just end up getting the wrong person to be next to you, or the wrong person that can influence you at that moment through, even if they're hearing you or whatever they're saying to you. So I will say that this is an exercise that every leader is doing consistently. They're building their network of valuable, trusted people, and we're all doing that. And they're not the friends. I'm not saying that all my friends will be the people that I trust. There will be friends, acquaintances. You kind of put them into the right category, right? And then you're still going to have at least one person, two on your life that you could trust them that much that you could just go whenever you need it. And I think it's very, very important to realize that can be done if you cultivate and if you think about testing in a way others with certain things that you may actually have a need for, and check what happens with that response. I'm sharing this because I haven't done it in the past. In the past, I kind of went fully in or fully out, and I realized that it's more to it. First of all, when you wanna, like with delegation, you wanna take the time to specifically say what exactly are the steps and teach them and show them, and then have the expectations to be implemented. So loneliness can also be fixed by looking back to what are some of the things that happened in the past that you need to probably repair, or almost look at the value. Is the value shared? Are you sure that you put enough time for everybody to know where you are going and know the full story, and is that aligned with your values and your vision? Because you're not going to be comfortable. You're not going to feel comfortable if you're pushed to go in a place that you're not necessarily aligned with your values. So know that can happen. Frustration appears sometimes because of that reason as well. Let's look at how probably there's certain boundaries that you need the importance of setting those. You need to know how to create those boundaries, because if you don't and you let things bleed in from one place to another, it's going to affect all the relationships that you have at work, especially, and at home. So transparency and honesty, yes, that is what's going to build the trust and is going to maintain it for a long term. But remember that we're not mind readers. And if we were a list focused half, or I won't say half, I would say 10% focused on what we need it to be, we would probably get hints that some people may have interpreted us in the wrong way, or that sometimes somebody may have just got us to step on our toes, and we stepped on their toes and we didn't realize. So that's why it's very important for when you pay attention, also take that discussion into the right direction. Because if you're not taking that, if you're not leading that discussion, then you will not know what you have created. So now it's going to be very hard to repair something that you don't even know that actually was broken. So it's a two-way street, right? The loyalty, trust, all of those things are two-way streets. So you need to make sure that you are going to request, but also find out that you're putting it out any requests from everybody else to play the same way. I would say that most of the people who found at least one trusted advisor, or they found a person who can just pick up the phone and call them, and just have them listen, be with them for at least 5 minutes or 3 minutes at certain times. I found them to be quickly brought back into their power and do what they needed to do. Because remember, we talked about this in the past. We all know what is needed to be done. We're just needed sometimes to trust more ourselves, or sometimes to feel that courage that's coming out to step on the things that may not be clear what is exactly is underneath. Great. I'm going to leave you with this. I know December is a special month for everyone. You take the time to figure out what you like to do next and how you're going to change certain things. So make yourself a priority for that reason, and think about what is that you need to play a different game next year, or to change to play the same game even better, and strategize for the impact. Adding value will bring everything else together, for everything else that you can't even imagine that will be possible. Thank you. See you next time. And if you need any help, just call me or send me a quick message. Looking forward to talking to you. Bye-bye.